Philippa, that new Brexit deadline, 31st of October, which of course is Halloween.
Absolutely. Yelda Theresa May is still speaking. She's answering questions. She is feeling the heat. There is a lot of unhappiness from the Eurosceptics in the House of Commons about this further delay. And she's just said, for example, to one of her own backbenchers, I recognise that reaching across the House, to work with the Labour Party is not usual practice. She says, I believe it's in the national interest. I've now voted 3 times to leave the EU with a deal, and that's the work I'm carrying on. So can her deal actually get through? I've got 2 experts with me to speak to you from Queen Mary University London, academic Dr. Lee Jones of the Full Brexit, Socialists for Brexit, I think it's fair to say. Tom Braffato is head of campaigns for People's Vote UK. Let me ask you both first. Tom, first, do you think Theresa May's withdrawal deal can get over the line now?
Well, I think that this extension is a sigh of relief for the UK and the European Union, and I think Parliament and Theresa May would do well to use this extra time wisely. And given that her withdrawal agreement has already been rejected 3 times in the House of Commons, I think that Parliament should take this opportunity to explore other options, and once they have found an option that can hold a majority in the House of Commons, they should use this extra time to put it to the people in a people's vote on any Brexit deal.
OK, in brief, Lee, do you think she can get her deal through, or like Tom, do you think that's dead?
Well, we've got to be clear that this isn't just her deal. This is the deal struck with the European Union, and they have very clearly said they won't reopen it. It's the only deal on the table. So the only thing that's going to be negotiated across Parliament is going to be the political declaration on the future relationship. Maybe that can be fudged to get it through the House of Commons, I'm not sure. But if Parliament doesn't deliver on the referendum result, then there will be a full-blown democratic crisis in this country. So it really is a very important moment for the future of this country.
So I'm hearing from both of you some pessimism about Theresa May's efforts. A people's vote, though, isn't that just as divisive as the first one?
I don't think so. I think the division was caused by the nature of the campaign in 2016. And I think that since then, one would have expected public opinion to rally round the Brexit deal, and actually what we've seen is the opposite. And I think that has been largely due to the huge change in public opinion caused by the grassroots campaigners who have been campaigning for a people's vote since that referendum result. And actually, I think that a people's vote can be a unifying moment for the country, especially given that now public opinion has shifted significantly in favour of staying in the European Union and in favour of a people's vote. And people want a people's vote because they are upset, they are fed up with the deadlock in Parliament, and they see this as the only way out of this Brexit mess.
Lee.
A majority of people have never supported a second referendum rather than the euphemism of a people's vote or confirmatory ballot. Most people in this country are Democrats. They realise that we turn out, we vote, it's one person, one vote, everybody counts equally, and democratic decisions need to be implemented before they are thought about and maybe voted on again. The issue here is that in 2016, the people gave a response that the mostly pro-Remain political establishment don't like, didn't want to implement, and have done everything they can to thwart. But they are not representative of the country as a whole. To go back to the country and say, you got it wrong, we don't want to listen to you, we're not going to implement what you want, vote again and give us the answer that we want to hear from you, will be incredibly divisive, and we're already seeing a massive backlash against the established parties on the doorsteps ahead of the council elections and the European elections.
Let me look at your ideal outcomes at the end of all this. Tom, is yours actually that the UK is better in the EU?
Yes, my personal opinion is that the UK is better placed at the heart of the European Union. I think that's where the majority of our interests lie, and I think that's now the majority of what the population thinks as well.
And would the UK have to show that it was a better European citizen? This idea of being a valued player from the point of view of the other 27?
Well, I think that the United Kingdom has always been seen as a valued player. And I think that it's only recently that since the Brexit vote, relationships have deteriorated. And I don't expect any sort of sanction or any reprimand to be handed to the United Kingdom were the British people to show that they have changed their mind in a people's vote.
I just have a minute left, Lee. You would rather we were out and fully out?
Absolutely. I mean, this country has been in a Thatcherite nightmare for the last 40 years, and it's time that we woke up from it. The European Union is the main constitutional guarantee of neoliberalism and austerity across the entire European continent. Not only does the UK need to leave, but other European countries also need to engage in democratic self-determination too, so that we can chart a way out of the problems that are now facing us.
Well, Lee Jones and Tom Bruffato, thank you so much for joining us here at Westminster. The protesters were silent for just a few minutes. Be thankful for small mercies, Yalda. We'll keep you in touch with what's happening during the day, but I do have to say it's quite quiet. A sense of MPs gratefully taking a little bit of holiday. Back to you.